Hi guys, this is the Audiofool, and for today, we're going to review the Elac Dejavu B6.2 speakers. Here we have the new Dejavu B6.2 by Andrew Jones, and I don't know what the term is for another Dejavu. Dejavu. Anyway, the B6 is rated highly by American reviewers, CNET, Stereophile, but wasn't really rated as high in Europe, at least by What Hi-Fi. They only gave it 4 stars. And I do have the original B6 and it sounds very decent for the price. It goes really low, and while it wasn't perfect, I actually quite like it and it became my reference speaker for under $300. And when they debuted the Dejavu B6.2, they mentioned it was tuned brighter, had tighter bass, and can be placed closer to walls. So I really wanted to hear it out, as Elac seemed to have addressed all of my complaints on the original one. So let's hear how it sounds. But before that, let's take a closer look. The port was moved to the front, so while you still can't place it right against a wall, it will sound better if you really had to. 6-inch aramid fiber driver in front and now has a dust cap. And then the 1-inch silk dome tweeter. There's still no magnetic speaker grills, but it's not really a big deal. In paper, they don't seem to differ a lot. Same 44 to 20 kHz frequency response, same 87 dB sensitivity, and same 6 ohm resistance. At the back, you have the same binding post, so you need to occasionally polish this as it oxidizes. Physically, it's only slightly narrower, taller, and deeper by less than an inch, but actually looks quite nicer, at least in terms of shape. Again, nothing really particularly beautiful with these speakers, but at $300, it's forgivable if it sounds really good. Unlike the original B6, the B6.2 sound great with my shit Ragnarok, so that's what I used when I compared it to the KEF LS50s. For trials of the past by Subtract, the B6.2 is able to do the third note almost perfectly, and it does it better than the LS50s. The LS50s can't really do the third note in the same SPL levels, but it is able to do the first and second note with slightly grippier bass. For Frank Sinatra's I've Got You Under My Skin, in a duet with Bono, the B6.2 has a more relaxed, slower pace, and it makes the horns slightly lower in pitch. It also sounds a bit more mellow compared to the LS50s. The LS50s, though, have more separation in the instruments, and it also has more forward vocals, as expected. For Norah Jones, Don't Know Why, unexpectedly, the B6.2s have a slightly more forward vocals compared to the LS50s, although it does become a bit more shouty, like it was overemphasized. In terms of instrument detail, the LS50s are better, and there's clearly more separation between the instruments, and you also have more bass textures. For Alicia Keys' If I Was Your Woman from the MTV Unplugged album, the piano notes sound better in the LS50s, they produce a better timbre for me. But again, the vocals are more forward in the B6.2, if not a bit too nasal. It does produce a deeper soundstage, and both are actually very enjoyable, but I think the B6.2s produce a deeper slam, which makes the song a little bit more fun for me. 4 Pints of Rome by Respighi. Again, the B6.2s have that deeper soundstage, but it's not enough to overcome the more expensive components of the LS50, so there's really more separation, clarity, and details coming out. For $300 speaker, I wasn't really expecting the B6 to win 2 songs over the LS50s, but it did because they sound amazing. It's really a hit with me in terms of tuning, and I really like them. Obviously, looks are not its strongest point, and the LS50s look better for me. And in terms of sound quality, it's still not LS50 good, but it's good enough. It's very, very close. And if I didn't have the LS50s and I was upgrading from the B6.2s, I would probably skip the LS50s and go to the next higher level, which is probably the Tectons. And yes, I think they're that good. Next, we compared the new debut to the older debutante, the original B6. I didn't like the original B6 with the shit Ragnarok, so I used the Cambridge CXA80 for this comparison, and it completely destroyed the original B6 in my test tracks. I found the original B6 to be too dark, and this new one is a little bit more neutral. In the old one, while the bass was fun in some songs, it was absolutely overpowering for most others. The newer one has less extension but is actually quite tighter and had more punch and control. As a result, everything sounded much sharper, clearer, and cleaner. So, like I mentioned in the intro, it corrected everything I complained about in the first. In terms of looks, they still both look like crap individually, but side by side, the B6.2 actually looks better for me. So, in my opinion, there's really no need to get a B6, the original one, unless you're bass deaf. And if you have the original B6 already, the newer one might actually be a very good upgrade if money is really tight. I also compared it to the Klipsch RP160M, which I mentioned in the previous video that I liked it and they were very musical. They currently run about $100 to $200 difference, and they fared pretty well against the KEF LS50, so I was wondering if spending a little bit more for the Klipsch would be worth it instead of getting the B6.2s. For trials of the pass by sub track, the B6.2s go a little bit deeper in the third note, but not so much so, and you probably won't notice the difference unless you were looking for it. The bass in the B6.2s are a bit tighter, but the first and second note in the Klipsch have more volume in them. So these would be very good for bass heads. For I've Got You Under My Skin, the Klipsch and the B6.2s have the same pace, and the horns have the same pitch, but the Klipsch has that richer tone and has a slightly prolonged decay, which makes the B6.2 sound very fresh and clean. But it would still really depend on your preference, like if you prefer tubes over solid state. I prefer solid state, so I would choose the B6.2s. For Don't Know Why, the Klipsch has stronger bass and the decay is also prolonged and it's more noticeable in this song. And you also have that same richness that I found in the previous test track. The B6.2 sound leaner, but it makes it easier to segregate the instruments, and the vocals are also more forward in the B6.2s, although the Klipsch vocals have a bit more of a three-dimensionality to them. For Alicia Keys, the B6.2s have a cleaner, more composed output, which gives out more details and doesn't sound as shouty as the Klipsch. But still, the Klipsch makes me feel like I'm there in the concert, and it really makes it sound fun. For Pints of Rome, the Klipsch sounds like it's a little bit too rich and it lacks a little bit of subtlety, which makes me sometimes feel like it's about to lose control, but although it doesn't. On the other hand, the B6.2 sound very steadfast and sure-footed. So for this comparison, the Elacs won over the more expensive Klipsch, but it all boils down to your preference. They're really two different things. The Klipsch has that fun factor, especially in concert recordings, where that extra dimensionality makes you feel that you're there. And that extra richness and prolonged decay, it makes the music a little bit less flat, a little bit more analog, but it can actually put off some listeners who would prefer their music to be more analytical. In terms of looks, the Klipsch are, for me, the better looking one, and there's more brand recognition as well, so the extra cost might be justified there if it matters. But in my test tracks, the B6.2's one, so I'd choose that one. What I like the most about the B6.2s is that they sound absolutely amazing. You have clarity in details, you have deep bass, and there's punchiness, and they're very engaging. And you have almost LS50 vocal forwardness levels. And you can also place them near walls or against the wall if you really have to. And with the price, it's just a steal at this sound quality level. What I don't like about it is, well, it's not really pretty looking, and I wouldn't mistake this to be better sounding than that one. And you also have no magnetic grills, and the veneer looks like it would curl up sooner rather than later. But what I hate the most about the Elac B6.2s is that I got them from Amazon last Christmas at $150. Its retail price is $300. So if I tell you to get the speakers right now at $300, what if they go on sale for $150 again? Or I think last Thanksgiving it was $200. So I don't know if they'll be on sale again. And I hate it when I just buy something and it goes down on sale again. So I really hate that. And I don't know if I should recommend that you get it at $150 because I don't know if it will go on sale again. But at $300, these are worth it. So I've been audiofooled. It's almost as good as the LS50s for a third of a price. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or suggestions, just write them down below. And please subscribe if you haven't. See you in the next video.